Hello guys, DJParson here, back for the next game of the International Championship, Season 10. And yeah, the first two games didn't go super well. If you haven't watched them yet, definitely check them out. And we scroll past all of these players and go to our Masters 2 League. We can see the standings at the moment. We are pretty far behind, obviously, after not doing so well in the first two games, but we only finished two games and both of them were 3 players, and there's less points to be had in 3 players. So I think we still have a good chance. Temersi on top. As we said last time, that means we still try to win this league, so that means we have to have a look out for Temeris, that maybe can, if we have the decision, we can maybe steal some culture from him or anything. Last time, in the last season, someone asked me about the strategy. If you go into these tournaments, what are the tournament strategies? And that's really hard to say, because it really depends on when these games finish. At the moment, we can't just say, I mean, we can't really play against Temeris. We need to win games. That is the plan for the first, I would say, 4 or 5 games. And after that, the last 2 games, maybe, if you have information yet on who's close to you in your league, then you can maybe play around the league standings. But for now, we just have to win our games. And if we can, then maybe steal some from Temeris. So the next game is gonna be this one, DJParson against Octavian, Hihiji, and Kimmo. So we will not be playing against Temeris yet. Yeah, let's hope that is a good game, and let's jump in. So, and in this game we are the first player. We are up against Octavian, Hihiji, and Kimmo. And let's take a look at the leaders and wonders first. No Pierre, no Marlene, so that is always very important. There's Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, so those two for the labs, for the computers. Fleming, Gandhi. Okay, that's a good overview. No fast food chains. Oh no, there's fast food chains, but no International Red Cross. There is an M Project. There is Shakespeare, no Bell. Robespierre, Railroad. No Suez Canal, no Ocean Liner. That's important information. Jan Žižka is in, Saladin is in. Columbus is in. No Sun Tzu is in. Hammurabi not in. Great Wall, Anti-Magic Castle, and St. Peter's Basilica. Okay, that's a good overview first. So let's take what we can look. I still really like my library. I think I'll just take the library. Alternatively, you could take Colosseum or Hippocrates, but yeah, library. I'm still a big fan of that wonder, so I'll take that. So Octavian takes Hippocrates and the Colosseum. Aristotle and Urban Growth for blue here, and Kimmo here takes the Engineering Genius and Alexander the Great. So it's our turn again. And yeah, first we want to build our lab. I mean, we could think about Cleopatra, elect her, and build a lab instead of the mine. And this way we can still build a lot of the library with Cleopatra here. Alternatively, we take Caesar and increase population and build a mine like this, maybe. This would be the alternative. I mean, Caesar in first position is definitely not bad. And Cleopatra for 2 is Cleopatra is a good leader, so I don't hate that idea. Octavian has the Colosseum, so playing aggressions on him will be pretty unlikely. Blue won't be getting the Colossus, so yeah, he could be a target. And Kimmo has Alexander, so yeah, he probably can't be a target as well. So we could use Caesar to play 2 events each turn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. Going with Cleopatra would mean we get more science production early, but we already have the library. I mean, it's also not bad really. But I'm in the mood for this game to be Caesar. I think I haven't really shown a lot of Caesar to you guys yet, so I'm gonna go with him. Hope that we draw some really nice cards here. The first draw is always really important. Not the greatest. Usually you want 2 events and not 2 tactics, and you're not even the best tactics. So yeah, not too happy with draw, but maybe it's still okay. Green goes, builds a mine, takes rich land. Yeah, all pretty standard thus far. Blue will elect Aristotle, also build some stuff. And now red will elect Alexander and takes Acropolis. Okay. And some really good leaders coming down. Saladin and Nostradamus. Really strong. Yeah, let's play the scientific breakthrough, I guess. It's not too bad. So, yeah, sadly we have to skip the other politics. So I really like Saladin. I also really like Nostradamus. You can increase population and pick one of the leaders and play them. Like we could pick Saladin, play him, and then build another lab. Yeah, that doesn't seem bad. We did miss our draws a little bit with Caesar, so he didn't give us a lot, but now that we have Saladin, we're gonna get a lot of civil actions out of him. In 4 players, maybe Nostradamus is even stronger. He's really good in 4 players. You get all of the information. If we would pick him now, we would know every card that would be played, because we can see, of course, what the others are playing. But for 3, I'd rather build my lab, I think. I mean, we could go for Nostradamus. And then next turn we can finish the library. But is Nostradamus really better than Saladin? He's really good. Don't know if he's better though. I mean, this would make it easy to finish library next turn already. I like that. Paying 3 for Nostradamus. The thing is, it's not too bad. The first card row is full of HA cards. That happens sometimes. If you're first player, that even your 3rd turn, you can't really pick a lot of good stuff cheaply. So you wanna maybe pick something from H1, and those cards will be on 2 or 3. So it's really not the end of the world paying 3 for Nostradamus, because our civil actions aren't worth as much this turn. Yeah, I think I'll go with Nostradamus here. Saladin also really good. Octavian will be really happy to get Saladin for 1, I think. Can then use Hippocrates, I guess, 2 times and then get Saladin for 1. That is really good for him. But yeah, in 4 players you can't always play 2. Like in 1 vs 1 I would probably try to deny Saladin for 1. But in 4 players you have to play for yourself, so getting Nostradamus. And then we have all the information what's coming. I like that. I like to play with information. Let's just hope that we draw an event that we can play next turn. Yeah, there's Pestilence. At least we can maybe play that. Green takes the Knights for 3 actually. That's really expensive. Don't know if I like that. And blue will take Saladin. That's really nice for him. For 1 civil action. Doesn't want to play him yet. Wants to take some more advantage of Aristotle. Red goes, builds 1 step of the Acropolis and takes cartography. So maybe he has some colonies in hand. I mean, he didn't play anything, so that's interesting. Okay, now we are Nostradamus, so we want to play something. So I'm going to play the Pestilence. That's good information to have at least. And the politics. Okay, so they draw another one. That's pretty good. And then we finish the library. And I believe we take iron. We can go for the iron next turn. Early iron is really important, especially in 4-player game. So I really love getting that for just 1 civil action. Yeah, that seems really good for us. And then we have to discard a lot of cards. Definitely the heavy cavalry for now. We want to keep the green card. Can keep 3, maybe the tactic. Those aggressions seem pretty unlikely with Nostradamus, so yeah, keeping those cards and then see what we can write. But at least with the development of politics we have something to play next turn guaranteed. The knowledge of the ancients, and now we start to get all of the information what's coming if these guys decide to play something as well. Dark Ages played by Octavian. That's good knowledge that we have, and that is in the deck. Opens development of settlement, builds a lab, builds 2 steps of Colosseum, so we can finish that next turn. Then blue will play Barbarians and open the development of warfare and takes Magic Castle. Okay, he doesn't have a wonder yet, so yeah, taking that one. And Kimmo will play develop territory. Okay, with the cartography, that makes sense, and development of religion. Finishes that. Plays Eleanor, early Eleanor, interesting. And theocracy, with this Acropolis, very cheap. And we have open borders or knowledge of the ancients. I think we're gonna go with the knowledge of the ancients. We really want to play something. And I mean, the military action would also be pretty great. But yeah, that is a tough decision with Nostradamus here. Do we want the 4 culture from the knowledge of the ancients? Do we want the open borders? I think we're gonna go with the open borders. Maybe we can offer that to blue. I mean, blue has symmetric castles, so maybe not. Maybe we can offer it to red. Yeah, I think we're gonna offer that to red. I'm not so sure. We can maybe decide how good is the knowledge of the ancients for us. If we don't play politics, we build warrior and religion for free. We're gonna go for iron, upgrade that. Take rich land. And there's no Marlene, so I'm not sure about that drama. Was there Bach? Also no Bach, so you're probably not going with dramas. And then just increase population, so we don't get a new wonder, so we don't want the knowledge of the ancients that much anyway. So I think getting that military action now is more important. And then we probably... so who do we offer that to? Green has Colosseum, so he already has a lot of military actions. I mean, can say that he doesn't need them as much, so he's a good target, but he might go for knights, and then we could be in danger of aggressions. Red with theocracy and cartography already has military actions. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna offer this to green. Or red. Or blue, those are the options. Probably not blue, with the Magic Castle and Saladin. He could go for a lot of strength all of a sudden and go for an aggression. So I believe I will offer this to green and hope that he accepts. And yeah, the pact is accepted. So we can increase our population, build a free warrior, build a free lab. Seems good. And then we can think what else we want to do. We could go for the iron. Yeah, early iron seems pretty nice, and the rich land. Yes, you could also take breakthrough, but rich land also seems pretty nice. Yeah. And then we can increase population. Breakthrough. Yeah, maybe I take the breakthrough. We're really low in science. I guess we really should build our next philosophy soon. So rich land for 1 or breakthrough for 2. I guess upgrading our irons cheaper, so we can upgrade both next turn, is gonna be a lot as well, and then we can build the philosophy lab. Yeah, going with the rich land for now. And then seeing what we can draw. And it is Foray and Reds. Foray not that great with Nostradamus, because it doesn't give you anything for that. It doesn't make you stronger, it just makes you not weaker. So sadly I forgot to record this turn, so I have to talk you guys through what I did. First let's start to look at what the other guys did. Green finished his Colosseum, went for Knights, Blue went for Court of Laws, and elected Saladin, and then Kimmo went for the Legion, played Cultural Influence. Oh no, as Legion became available to everybody, he went for playing the Cultural Influence, and yeah, there came Barbarians, which we had the most culture for, but we didn't lose population because we weren't one of the 2 weakest. And then Pestilence, we lost 1 population. I used the development of civil life to build up a second lab. I went for 1 more iron, took swordsman and theology, and that's about it. And now green can take Janjichka, which is really good. So again, sorry for not recording this turn. I completely forgot about pressing record, so I had to talk you guys through it like this. So Octavian goes for Zhishka here, and that seems about right. Very strong for him. Hippocrates and Zhishka now. And blue will play the strategic territory It will open up Dark Ages. Everybody loses 1. That seems pretty fair. And he will finish the Magic Castle. And now Red will play Call to Arms. That's really good for us. Nostradamus is really good against Call to Arms because we shouldn't be the weakest. And there's Developed Territory. So we definitely have to concern ourselves a little bit with strength now. But I guess Kimmo will probably take the Knights, so we probably have to go for Swordsman. Yeah, we don't want to be this weak, but the next 2 cards are not gonna hurt us anyway, so that's good at least. And I think we can bid for this. Don't think aggressions are very likely. We can bid 4. And then go for Swordsman, we build 1. Yeah, that seems pretty good. We can even, with Frugality, I think we can get 2 population out. We can then build 2 Swordsmen. And then maybe soon we can copy the Legion or something. So I think I definitely wanna bid 4 for this. And with that we win it. That is pretty nice. So we go down to 1 plus 3. So we have to be a little bit concerned now. But with Frugality, we can increase population 2 times and build a couple of Swordsmen. Maybe we can also take Great Wall. That then is a good combo. So yeah, I think that was not an overbid or anything. That is a pretty nice early developed territory. And Kimmo will build up a little bit of military, going up to 8. Takes alchemy as well, and now yeah, we are pretty weak. But thanks to Nostradamus, we do know what's coming, and nothing of this will hurt the weaker player. Still don't think we want to play something, so probably skipping politics for now. And then, as we said, Swordsman or Knights. Maybe going for the Knights first. Okay, increase population with the Frugality. And we do have the Phalanx in hand, so I like that. We can build 1 Knight. Don't think we need to build a Warrior as well to be stronger, because I mean, Call to Arms could hurt it a little bit, but there's really no big reason why I would build another Warrior. Maybe next turn I can go for a Swordsman immediately, and then I can play the Phalanx. So then this way I go up to 3 or 6, so I can definitely defend. Inhabited and Scientific Method, both of them would definitely be okay. Can't really win the Inhabited, but yeah, this looks pretty good. I think I don't really see a reason why I would go for the Swordsman, or why I would go for the Warrior if I want to upgrade to Swordsman anyway, which I probably want to do. So yeah, this means I can't go for Great Wall, but I have to pick up the Knights now. I mean, I could skip Knights, I could go for Swordsman, build 1, and take the Great Wall. And then maybe next turn I can copy the Legion and build another Warrior or another Swordsman. And then I have a lot of resources to go for the Great Wall. Then I skip Knights, but with Great Wall that's definitely okay. Maybe I like this actually even more, not going for the Knights but for the Swordsman. Again, same applies again, don't have to increase my strength anymore. And then the Great Wall will be pretty nice. I like that quite a lot. Gives me some stuff where I can spend my resources, so that's always good. Gives me another happy face, and then some more strength soon. But yeah, I think I like that. Getting a way to spend resources. Still missing civil actions, but yeah, nothing I can do about that this turn. Can't grab the monarchy or something like that. So I'll be waiting for Republic or the constitutional monarchy, probably rather the con one. I could copy the fighting band, but I don't want to do that. I want to copy the Legion next turn. And then let's see, we don't run a new card, but we do all the Legion ourselves, so we don't have to pay 2 military actions to copy that. We can just play that ourselves then. Near deposits, play Bergtavian. Okay, and he opens up the Scientific Breakthrough. we gain 3, everyone else gets 2. And he has a nice tactic with Jan Žižka, the medieval army, fulfilling that 2 times. So he goes up to 9. Blue will not play politics, goes for alchemy, grabs irrigation. Now Kimmo will go for Code of Laws, Knights, and Rich Land. Now we have to consider if we want to play something. I mean, we could play the Good Harvest, I guess. Could also go for Foray, but let's see what we want to do. We can increase population, build up Swordsman, go up to 7 strength. I don't want to play the Foray, really. We probably, I mean, next time we probably finish the Great Wall, then we get up to 10. So we might be one of the 2 strongest, but Foray can come out immediately next turn. And then that's not good for us. So I think Good Harvest is going to be better. And I definitely want to play something with Nostradamus. Can't really go for the inhabited territory, but there's no way to play around that. Sadly, we didn't draw any colonization cards. We could wait and hope to draw some. It costs us quite a bit of culture from Nostradamus. So let's see what we could do. I mean, we could also go for monarchy now. And like increase population, go for that swordsman. So we're definitely not one of the weakest for call to arms. So we could go for this, maybe grab engineering genius. And since we also know new deposits is coming, we could spend our last civil action upgrading that last mine. Yeah, this doesn't seem bad. So this is definitely a strong turn. The only question is, do I play politics first? Get out the inhabited territory. I think maybe, I mean, we are the first ones to draw H2 cards. I would really like to get some more H2 cards, but I can't risk not playing that tactic. It wouldn't really make sense. So definitely playing the tactic. We draw 2 cards. If those are H2 colonization cards, we are the first one to draw those. Kimmo has still only got for H1 cards, so I like that. Definitely not gonna win the inhabited without colonization cards. So maybe keeping that option up. But I also like playing the Good Harvest, especially putting that into the deck. Yeah, I think I have to go for that. 4 culture is quite a lot. So I want to play that. Open up the inhabited. We can send away, or we could send away a swordsman there. That's not going to be enough, but we can try. And green wins the inhabited territory for, oh, actually 2 units. That's really, really expensive. That's really good for us, I think. That he has to pay so much for that. Didn't have a single colonization card. Or did he have... What did he have to bid? 3. So yeah, he didn't need the army or anything. 1 knight plus the colonization card would have been enough. But looks like he didn't have that. So what was the plan? Probably the monarchy, I think. I mean, it feels a little bit bad at the beginning of H2. We could wait for our Conmon. But yeah, with monarchy, we have the science. We can't really spend that on anything else at the moment. So for that this turn. This may be what we have to do here. Then increase population, build that warrior, play legion. I mean, then we can take the engineering genius, upgrade our production some more for the new deposits. So I could harvest new deposits, so a lot of things to come. Sadly we can't go for irrigation or something this turn, but yeah, we can finish Great Wall next turn if the new deposits come, or even without, with the engineering genius. So I like that. And then we have 3 science production, which is okay. Early scientific method would be great, something like that, or Nobel. But for now I'm pretty happy with how it's going. We have nice culture from Nostradamus. We will have the Great Wall soon. So I think overall it's a nice setup for H2. So I'm happy with how H1 went. And then see what we can draw. no colonization cards anyway. So yeah, it didn't matter that we played that this turn already. Octavian will go for another knight, goes up to 8 strength. Doesn't have a lot of civil actions, but maybe he can manage. Blue will go for late iron, can upgrade 1, so iron, irrigation and alchemy. That's definitely not a bad setup. And then Kimmo will play rebellion. That's very useful information. And cultural influence doesn't change a lot. I mean, we're the only one with only 2 cultural action. And Kimmo has to delete a mine. Interesting. That is... destroys a mine to go for 1 more philosophy. Not so sure about that. Going down to 2 resource production only. Now we can definitely play something. We could go for navigation and the vast territory. I mean, there's strategic territory as well, and nobody else took like the cartography. Don't have any colonization cards in hand is my problem, and then 4 players, it's really hard to commit to something like that and be sure you will win, because someone can have a lot of luck and draw a lot of nice colonization cards. So maybe I play the foray instead. Can still, yeah, I don't really want to go for navigation. There's good harvest, okay, so we can then also finish our Great Wall. And I guess we can take breakthrough. I like this turn overall. Finishing the Great Wall gives us 10 strength, which doesn't really matter for any of these besides Call to Arms. I guess we don't have to increase our strength, but then the rest also doesn't matter too much. And alternatively, what do? We could go for drama or something, but there's no Marlene. Could go for alchemy, but I think it's pretty late for that. So finishing the Great Wall has some potential. And then we also played the foray just now, so I think I like that. And then that's our turn, and we can see if we do draw some colonization cards. Still no colonization cards, so I don't want to play these territories. And don't know what I'm going to do next turn, but probably not playing these territories. And Octavian offers us a pact, the International Trade Agreement. He will get 1 more resource production, and we would get 1 more food production, and I see absolutely no reason why we wouldn't accept that. And we already have the open borders with him, so that could be one reason, right? No, that is ours. That is our pact. We can see that from the yellow ribbon. So we can still have the other pact because he offered that one. So we will step both, and there's basically no reason to not accept one of these pacts. Octavian will upgrade his production, take Engineering Genius, and blue won't play something as well. Nobody's playing politics, takes patriotism, frugality, also upgrades his production even more. Kimmo will play the vast territory and opens a new deposit, 6 resource for us, so we now are definitely swimming in resources. And he will take coal. Yeah, he definitely needs more resources. That's pretty bad from that he wants to go for coal now, and these new deposits came out. So I definitely want to play something because I'm Nostradamus. I don't think I want this promise of military protection. There's gonna be a lot of territories, but there's nothing I can do against that. Could play this historic territory. I guess I'll play the historic territory. That is always tricky. I have some bad experience with historic territory, but maybe this time, if I play it myself, I can play around that. And we open the strategic, so yeah, sadly we can't bid a lot for this. The 2 for the swordsman. No colonization cards at all. That is pretty bad. But I can't bid more than that. I mean, I could maybe bid 2. But that's a lot of resources, a lot of food. So yeah, I wouldn't probably even win it for 2 if I bid all of them, but I can't do that. Yeah, so I can bid 2, but I don't think it will be enough. And blue wins it for 3+. The other guys didn't even want to bet. Okay. Has to send away 2 cards. And now we have a lot of different choices. We could go with the scientific method, or we could go with the Harvard College, I think. We definitely need science, so one of those would be great. We also have to spend a lot of resources. I mean, we could go for scientific method. Upgrade that. If we upgrade again, we do have corruption, and I don't want to have that. We could increase population instead and build up a warrior or a swordsman. So this doesn't look bad. Next time we can increase the other one. We could theoretically just increase population and build one lab. Is this overkill? I mean, it's really early, so a lot of science will help a lot. We don't have any blue technologies, so going for some of those is a nice way to spend a lot of science, like justice system, strategy. Still need cannons and everything, so it's not looking bad like this. And then next time we can upgrade those, maybe get the architecture. And maybe we can take the railroad as well. I don't know if I go for the college here. I can't finish it this turn. If I could finish it this turn, it would be great, but I have to find some way to spend resource and not have corruption, and that doesn't really work. Can't really find something to not have corruption. I mean, like this, still corruption. And that's the problem with the Harvard College this turn, I think. So I think I'm gonna go with the scientific method, go for that. I don't think 3 are too many. Might be, but I mean, there's also Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, so saving up a lot of science could be great, or going for 3 scientific methods with Bill Gates. And then we can upgrade this because we have that free military action that we want to spend. So this looks pretty solid. 11 resources still the strongest, still have all of the information. Knowledge of the Ancients. I mean, that could be a reason why we go for the Harvard College, because it will give us 1 science from the knowledge of the ancients. And now it will give us 1 resource if it's still under construction, but yeah, the corruption negates that completely. And then rebellion and the territories, those are not great, but rebellion and foray are pretty good for us. Same goes for call to arms, so that is pretty nice. And I can get rid of these tactics. I will say Legion before I go for the phalanx. Then hope that we draw some better events that we can play. Civil Unrest, that's not bad, and this one is pretty bad. Hussars and Conquistadors, definitely not good tactic draws, probably the 2 worst for us with Great Wall already. Prosperity played by Octavian, so maybe we want to get some extra happy faces for that. Call to Arms, really good. Blue loses 2 and Octavian loses 1 civil action. He will take the Harvard College and he can finish that next turn. That's pretty nice for him. Goes up to 13 strength now. Blue will play terrorism. Okay, that's definitely very useful information. Lords of the Ancients will give us 3 science here. And he will go for cannons. So the first cannon is gone. Kimmo will also play something, the autonomous territory, so more territories. And rebellion only hits blue for 2 civil actions, so it just lost 2 to the call to arms and now 2 to the rebellion. Kimmo will go for pretty late coal. No, not really. It's not really too late for that, I think. So nice for him. We definitely want cannons at some point. So the first one being gone is a little bit sad, but civil unrest. We have one of the 2 strongest, so we will win the foray, which is pretty nice. We can take some food for extra population. We can also think about, I mean, we maybe grab the railroad, but we can't finish that this turn anyway because of civil actions. So definitely gaining food here. I think I like the railroad, and upgrading this also gets rid of corruption for us. I mean, Nobel would be definitely be okay or good for us. What other leaders are there? Yeah, the rest is really not looking that great, but I don't think I want to grab Nobel this turn. I really want to go for the railroad. Then our resource production and science production is looking great. We still have time to go for the selective breedings. Could think about going for Conmon. But they are the step up from Monarchy to Conmon. I don't think that's worth 12 science, even though we have quite a lot, but I'd rather spend that on justice system and strategy. Sadly not on architecture, but I mean we also still need cannons, selective breeding, and we can save up our science for Steve Jobs if we really want to. There will be no Dark Ages, so we could save up a lot of science, go for big push with Steve Jobs. One problem, of course, if someone takes Steve Jobs away from us, then all of our science is just sitting there. But still, overall, this turn looks pretty nice. We can finish Railroad next turn. That's pretty important, and then maybe grab some stuff, even though we need most of our civil actions on the Railroad anyway. So overall, not looking bad. And maybe I keep the territory. I really want to be able to play politics or play an event if I draw no other one. Because again, we are Nostradamus. And we draw more territories, independence declaration and freedom of movement. Can definitely put in the freedom of movement. The Crusades, played by Octavian, and he will open the historic territory. I mean, we would bid for that. Maybe we can make someone else pay a little bit more for the vast and the autonomous. So we could or pay more for the historic, so we can maybe bid a little bit for the vast and autonomous. Seems pretty unlikely, all of that. I think there's no way that we win the terrorism, right? No, blue will most definitely win that, and then he can destroy one of our buildings, but at least we have a lot of resources to rebuild those. We can bid for, will not be enough, I think, but I don't want to bid more anyway. And blue wins the colony for 5+, the historic one. Octavian, no, he will send away one cannon and the colonization card. Octavian will finish the Howard College, grabs Constitutional Monarchy, can go for that next turn, pretty nice for him. Blue will go for Nobel, upgrading his science production. Going for another cannon, does he have fortifications? Nope. Kimmo will go for navigation and another coal. And Knights takes selective breeding as well. And now we can decide again what we want to go for. There's what? There's Cook. Can't really go for either of those. I want to play something, and we're not the weakest at least. And we know what's coming anyway. Terrorism, prosperity and vast territory. Terrorism would be good for green at this point. We would lose our scientific method. I guess there's really no way around that. Gonna lose that eventually. And then prosperity, are we ready for that? I mean, not really, but are we ever gonna be more ready? I mean, that's 5 culture that we gain when playing freedom of movement, for example. So I think I want to play that. The 5 culture is just too promising. And it's gonna be terrorism, so green can destroy something. I want to get my railroad going. And then grab the cannon, so not the most exciting turn, I guess. Just grabbing cannons is so important with the Great Wall. So that I really want to do that. And then the railroad will give us nice resource production. Selective breeding would also be really nice. There are 2 left, and there's Statue of Liberty. But there are 2 selective breedings left. We'll have to count on getting the last one then, because we won't be getting this one. But yeah, I can't grab that this turn. I think I really want that railroad to be strongest. I mean, being strongest is not that important, so we could think about that. Grab cannons and selective breeding. Go for that instead. Gives corruption. There's no International Red Cross. If there was, maybe I would go for just another selective breeding. But like this, I mean, could just grab it and not go for it. Building one more scientific method and building 1 step. That could be something if we do instead of finishing that. To have the selective breeding in hand. And that would cost us 2 resources, but we can't finish the railroad next turn still. I think I want to go with the railroad. Getting our resource production up this turn, going up to 8. We don't need more science production. I don't want to upgrade this philosophy at the moment. I guess I need to rebuild one eventually once I lose that to terrorism, but we have 21 science. I mean, I could think about going for Republic, but I really need the military actions as well. Especially once I lose the open borders agreement. Don't think Republic is a good way to go. I would like an early democracy or something to spend my science on. I mean, I would love to have strategy for my science, but yeah, finishing the railroad this turn feels pretty solid. Getting up our resource production, we're not really lacking in that, but we can always use more resources. So going with that, I can get rid of these tactics, maybe keeping one of them. Can also get rid of the territory. Yeah, don't want to go for that tactic with our SARS with the Great Wall anyway. Then we draw still no other tactic, so not the best. Octavian will place the popularization of science and will open prosperity. Yeah, equal food mostly. That's pretty fair. He will go for Conmon and grab the Eiffel Tower. He can finish that next turn with the Engineering Genius. He will go up with Production of Culture even more. So not looking bad for him. Blue will grab that strategy. He also has nice production. Really depends on his tactics. If he has fortifications, it's not looking bad. Rages of Time played by Kimmo, and he will open the vast territory. So another territory. I guess Kimmo has a really good spot to win that with that 2 colonization, and it's his turn. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sadly, we don't have any tactic. If we had, we could like go for cannons, and then we wouldn't need our swordsmen anymore. I guess I can bid 4. That won't be enough. We could try to make it expensive for Kimmo, but that would also be pretty risky, so not sure I want to do that. Vast territory would be really great for us, that's for sure. Kimmo has selective breeding, so we're guaranteed to get selective breeding next turn, so I don't think we have to overcommit for the vast territory if we get selective breeding anyway. 4 won't be enough anyway. We could also pass. Kimmo will definitely bid swordsman for that, so we don't give these guys any information, so we just pass. And Octavian wins it for 10, so yeah, at least we didn't give them any information, but yeah, no way that we could have won that. And the colony is won by Octavian, who has to send an army and 3 cards. That is quite expensive, but it's a good colony. So congrats to him for winning that. Kimmo will build up a couple of knights. Does he have a tactic for that? His production is looking really good, especially with Newton. He also has science production pretty nicely. Crusades, we are the strongest, so that's pretty nice. Don't know if I really want to play the international negotiations. Maybe I can. Okay, I also don't want... I mean, Iconoclasm could be great. We are probably gonna get Robespierre. Maybe even this turn, if we take Robespierre. Go for the Conmon. Question is, do we want that? Is that good? Probably not. We probably want to go for the selective breeding. Maybe even take what? Because alternatively we get Maria Theresa, but we lose the civil action. Green is also still looking for a leader, so you might take her away. Yeah, let's first play the Iconoclasm here. If I go for what, I'm going to use on this turn to go for selective breeding. And then if I lose him afterwards, not the biggest problem for me. So let's first get up these Crusades. Get what? And the selective breeding, we can upgrade this. And maybe increase population so we don't have corruption. We will be losing 2 yellows after this turn. So we'll have happy face problems. We have not really solved that at all. So we could go for theology. What? Select breeding. Could just go for for these theology this turn. We don't need population that much. And then build one. We have so much science. I really want some justice system would be great. And then of course we can save up a lot of science. Maybe go with the Steve Jobs plan. Don't really think I need anything else this turn. But overall it's looking pretty good. We can go for Bill Gates, we can go for Steve Jobs, we could go for Marie Curie. Or Mandela doesn't look that bad at the moment as well. Especially if we get coal. No, if we get coal is out, right? Yeah, coal is out. If we get oil with our boy Watt here, we can then maybe go for Marie Curie. So we have some options for that. I definitely want to play Watt this turn, I think. Yeah, let's do that first. Play Watt. Don't go for select breeding yet. Go for theology. Not really often that I go for theologies, but I have it in hand now from earlier, and it solves my happiness problems. And yeah, Nostradamus will very likely be gone before next turn. I don't want to lose him. And yeah, I'm not the weakest anyway, so that doesn't hurt. I could become... I mean, we know what is coming here. You don't need to be strong anyway, so I definitely want to play him. And civil unrest. Yeah, we just got happy faces, so that's good. Popularization of science could let us go for philosophy and scientific method instead. Let's take a look at what we can do. Could upgrade this. But then we do have corruption. I don't like that as much. That only gives 2 culture from the popularization of science anyway. That's not that much. We don't have to plan our whole turn around that. So I think I like this more. And of course playing Watt first. Yeah. First instinct was probably right. And then maybe next turn go for select breeding. Hope that we draw a good tactic. Fortifications or hopefully defensive army would be even better. Anything with cannons really. And let's get rid of some of these territories. Can't really see us, don't really see us winning any of those. And no tactic, but a war. I mean, with a Great Wall and Railroad, we're pretty fine with our strength for now. So yeah, not the biggest problem. Octavian will go for the Rifleman, going up a little bit in strength, 18. And rebuild the tactic. He has 20 strength now. And Blue will open something as well. We are not the weakest, have freedom of movement. And he grabs Cornmont, can go for that next turn if he wants to. Oh, yes, can still go for that next turn if he wants. And reveals fortifications, so all the tactics getting revealed. That doesn't happen always. And okay, just copy the tactic. But yeah, the good information that we have that all of these tactics are out now. One problem is that Classic Army is not that great for us because of Great Wall. You could, I mean, you can go for cannons and then maybe copy the fortifications. I'm the weakest at the moment, but we have all the information that we don't have to worry about that. So definitely want to play something here. Maybe the international negotiations or the independence declaration. And I guess we're gonna be stronger soon. We have Great Wall and the Railroad. So maybe we can play the international negotiations. In the question is, are we gonna be the strongest? And I don't know that yet. Might we be the weakest? I mean, we all have colonies besides Camo here, so independence declaration. It wouldn't be too bad losing 1 yellow if we are the absolute weakest. So maybe, yeah, also I want to advance the event stake because I want the iconoclasm out soon. And it's going to be autonomous territory. I mean, this would be great to get rid of the swordsman and go for fortifications next turn, but we have to worry about strength then. Don't have the most military actions, so my idea is sending... We could even send all 3, then we go down to 5. We can't copy the tactic yet. We would go down to 5, build 2 cannons. And that's 4 strength for each with a Great Wall, that's 8. So from 5 back to 13. Then at least we get another military action. But all of these guys come after us. I mean, we could even go for another cannon if we take the resources. We can go for 3 cannons. It's a tricky colony again, as always. These colonies being tricky. I could not send away these cards to be able to defend against aggressions. Maybe even keeping both. Of a bit 1, we have 4 military actions then. If you go down to, what did we say, if we build another cannon, we get 12 strength from that, so we go up to 17. So we can end this turn with more strength than we have right now. Blue could play an aggression with the cannons and sacrificing them with the image castle, but if we're at 17 and have 1 colonization card still in hand, so if, yeah, maybe 10 is a good number. We really would like the civil and military actions. It's pretty expensive sending away the swordsmen because they're pretty good with the Great Wall. They are pretty good with that. Kimmo has 2 colonization, not that many cards. He could also send an army without a problem. So, tricky decision, but I think we can stabilize after getting this, and after that we have nice transition into the fortifications. Maybe we don't have to risk it, I'm not sure. Could just send 2, go for 6, maybe 8 like this. I mean, that's, we can always, maybe 8 is a good number. Do it like this or this. Yeah, let's try it for 8 first. I mean, first doesn't really work here, we have to decide now. I would really like to get this, but 3 units is really expensive. We don't get any food, that's a problem. If we want 3 cannons, we would have to delete stuff. Yeah, that's too much. I can maybe build 6. Could also build 6 like this. Yeah, 6 is easily doable. I can't justify going for more. I don't want to something like in the first game that I played in this happen again, where I have a pretty nice position. I don't have to risk this, I think. So only bidding 6 here. And Kimmo wins it for 7+, and he can get it just for the cards. That's really good for him. So now we can decide what we want to do with the freedom of movement. Sadly, we can't like put 1 from the swordsman to the cannon. That would be a nice transition. Maybe we can just use this to upgrade our temple for free, or the scientific method, but we already have so much science. Let's take 1 from the religion, put them on the theology, and then definitely want to go for selective breeding. Maybe upgrade. I would also like the justice system to spend some of our science here. And I'm the weakest, so we could also sneak in a cannon. Still have a lot of science left. Maybe next turn we can upgrade the other one. Don't think we can go for both, right? No, we don't have enough resources to upgrade the philosophy to scientific method instead of the theology. So that just is, I guess, one saved civil action that we have from the freedom of movement. So not the greatest. But yeah, nothing else to do with it really. And this looks pretty good. 20 strength now. Maybe we can get rid of some of these warriors for another colony. We don't have to be strongest, but against blue here we don't have the most military action, so with the magic castle he could play an aggression, so yeah, going up to 20 is pretty good. I mean, we could have, yeah, maybe the popularization of science is more important. Age is not gonna be over soon. We can rethink this. Can take the one from philosophy, put that on scientific method. Not go for selective breeding? No, I like the selective breeding. Like this we can upgrade both. Problem is defending now against an aggression from blue. If he commits to sacrificing a unit, we have 8 plus 1, so he could play a successful aggression. And not if we draw 1 defend card from H3. So I don't know if he will risk that. Could just build a warrior. We're gonna have a lot of population, so this would make us safe, stronger than Kimmo, which doesn't really matter being stronger. So maybe we can just risk this. I mean, is the risk worth taking? Will blue sacrifice one of his cannons to play an aggression that might not get through? He doesn't know if we can defend. I think using the knowledge that strength won't matter for these 3 cards, we can risk this. Not building the warrior, that would make transitioning even harder. And then maybe we can go for the fortifications at some point. Yeah, let's go with this. Drawing 3 cards is also pretty nice. It's the first drawing step of H3 here. Don't see ourselves really going for the war with technology. I guess acceptance of supremacy is also pretty bad. Definitely keep the defend cards and hope that we draw 1 from H3 so we are completely safe. And it's gonna be, yeah, we get 1 defend card, that's awesome. And Impact of Wonders is also looking pretty good, so nice draw. And popularization of science, 7 culture first, pretty nice. Green will finish the Eiffel Tower, going up to 6 culture production, and goes with Maria Theresa. We are the weakest now, so let's see. Blue will definitely play something, I guess. But hopefully no aggression. Oh, aggression, but not against us, against Kimmo, and he wins it. I guess Kimmo doesn't have as many military actions. And then blue takes reserves for 3. That's interesting. That definitely is interesting. Civil unrest. Ooh, Kimmo getting... yeah, not the best. Losing to that aggression, losing 4 culture now. We'll go upgrade, get a little bit more happy faces, and oil will hopefully come down to us. Yeah, he grabs communism instead. I mean, we have to concern ourselves with strength now because Kimmo now is really, really strong. Waves of Time, yeah, we could play that without a problem. Could play the Impact of Wonders. That's gonna be really good for us. And then 3 culture, I want that. I definitely want that. So, Ravages of Time, we have to crumble. Yeah, we can't crumble the Great Wall, that's too good at the moment. Octavian will have to crumble the Colosseum. Blue will have to crumble his magic castle, that's nice. He looks like he might want to go for some wars with a nice tactic and a lot of reserves. Yeah, might be he's planning a war or something. With the yeah, we have to be really careful here. He can't play the Conmon, declare war, build 3 cannons. So at least it's pretty nice that he loses magic castle. That's one of the worst things to lose. That gives 2 culture anyway, so he just loses the additional effect. And Kimmo will lose his Acropolis. He won't be too sad about that, I guess. I really want that oil. These are so cheap to upgrade. Oh man. And I guess a cannon maybe. That this we're safe from any aggression. And then if there's a war declared by blue on us, we have 17 or 18 resources next turn. We don't have a good tactic yet, but I think that's okay. One problem is only 3 military actions, but we do have enough for military theory or fundamentalism if that comes down. So like that, we still have the promise of military protection. Maybe get 4 more strength from that. Also, if it's probably not a war of a culture, then it doesn't matter too much. We could lose a couple of science or food. That wouldn't be the worst. So yeah, definitely want to go for the oil. That's so cheap to upgrade, and 17 resource production now this early. That's super good. Before the iconoclasm comes out, using what again? And we even will score 5 culture from him when he leaves play. That also counts when he gets shafted by the iconoclasm. So that's pretty nice. I guess we probably not gonna go for war ourselves. Can't keep as many cards now because we lost the library, but 2 defend cards and promise of military protection to maybe help us with some wars. Perfect would be some kind of tactic. Population could be okay. Competition might be. We have a lot of resources, so that might come in handy. Politics of strength, and we are the weakest, so we are not gonna draw cards next turn. And Octavian will take cannons. Build 2. Oh, and he has a Napoleonic army, gives him 32 strength now. So that's a lot. Blue will also play something, and it's iconoclasm now. That's, I would say, pretty good for us. We used what already, and these guys losing all of their leaders is pretty good. And he will take computers and the rifleman. And then Kimmo won't... Yes, he will be playing something at... Oh, man. Economic progress, 15 resources for us and 4 food. We are filthy rich now. Incredible. And military theory stays here. That's perfect. I mean, all of these guys go for a lot of strength, but with that military theory, we can do the same. We could think about playing something, but we are the weakest, and we really don't want to open the independence declaration and lose our developed territory. So let's skip that for now. Definitely want the military theory. 33 resources, that is crazy. Go for that, and we could go for the Napoleonic army next turn. So we would take tanks. Can also go for fortifications this turn. Gives us a lot of strength. Can't even, I don't know, go for another one. To become strongest. I mean, yes, strongest is pretty good. Then we don't need the tanks. Then we could grab democracy and the opera to transition all of our resources into culture production. I mean, we could not go for the democracy, just go for those operas. Can't sneak in one this turn, sadly. So yeah, about the tanks, we could definitely go for the tanks and then copy Napoleonic army next turn. So if we go for the military theory, one tank, one cannon, and then copy the fortifications, we are at 32. So that's too close for me. That might make us pretty much the weakest. I mean, we are not, but yeah, that's a little bit too close for my comfort. We could go for tank. And then next turn we can copy the Napoleonic army. I mean, going for the fortifications with 3 swordsmen is not that great, and yeah, Napoleonic army is a lot better because we can use our swordsmen. So I think this is a good idea. And then we can grab the opera. We don't really need the democracy. We have a lot of civil actions. I mean, not the most. We would probably like it, but we also can't really afford that if we go for the tanks. Democracy is really expensive. And we can get all of our culture production from the operas. We can just next turn increase population 2 times, build 2 operas. That's no problem with our crazy resource production. I mean, we will have close to 40 resources next turn, so yeah, building operas is no problem at all. This makes us the strongest. We could think about grabbing Flaming or Chaplain, but don't seem to have the civil actions for that. And the rest is also okay, so we don't have to commit yet. It would be pretty nice. And we just lost our leader to get another one, but Yeah, Fleming doesn't work yet, and Chaplain for 2. I want to do other stuff this turn. I want to build up my military so we're not the weakest. So yeah, this seems pretty nice. Yeah, let's go with that. Don't draw any cards because of the politics of strength. Yeah, so no new input. And war declared by Octavian on blue. And he will just build a cannon, and the rifleman goes up to 45. And he will be able to defend with 2 cannons. Oh, does he have another tactic? Entrenchments? No. That's actually not more. That's interesting. Guess it might be better for future turns. Yeah. And then Kimmo will open the crime wave. And he gets Bill Gates. That's really nice for him. Also getting the Man Project. And Independence Declaration on top. We're not the weakest, so we can definitely play, I would say, the Input of Population. We're not sure yet about the Input of Competition. That could be pretty nice, but for now, the Input of Population would be great. But yeah, just coming back to talk about this. He could have just built 2 more cannons and stayed with the fortifications. Then he would have more strength, because he would 15 and not 12. But I guess that doesn't really matter because of the War for Territory. It doesn't matter if he has 2 more strength or not. And this is going to be better for the following turns. If he goes for 2 more riflemen, he will fulfill the positional army again. Then he has a lot of extra strength. So pretty nice for him. But yeah, let's play the population here. Get that 3 culture for playing that, which is pretty nice. Independence Declaration. Oh, and Kimmo loses autonomous territory. That is pretty good for us and pretty bad for him. Autonomous territory gone for him. That is one of the worst you could lose. So he won't like that. So we could maybe go for a couple of operas. At least one. We could also go with Chaplain. And we can copy the Napoleonic army. And if we want to, we can build another tank to be the strongest, but yeah, that's Input of Wonders anyway, so it doesn't matter for that one. Alternatively, we could delete a swordsman and build up another opera. So we're up to 14 culture production. Could also think about movies, but for 2 civil actions I already have the opera in hand. The movies are not that much better in my opinion. And of course with Chaplain they are quite good. And we have all of the resources that we would need for the movies. But then this turn doesn't really work as nicely if you still want movies. Oh yeah, we can't then even grab and play Chaplain, so I don't think we can go for the movies. We just go for the opera. It's not such a big difference. And then Chaplain as well. And I mean, we definitely copy the tactic. It just gives a couple more strength. And then we could do different things. We could build a tank like this, go up to 51. We could destroy the swordsman and go for an opera. And then we definitely have the most culture and most culture production. And we're still safe from any aggressions or such. We add 3 military actions, which is nice. But of Wonders won't matter who's strongest. And we can defend. Yes, we can. So maybe I like this more. We don't have to go for the tank already. Can do that later. And overall there's no chance for war because we have so many resources. So yeah, this looks pretty much won. And I think the culture production makes it super safe. Yeah, and we can still go for a couple of wonders, like Hollywood for example with Chaplain, that's great. The Empire State could be very good, so I like this. Then see what we draw. A couple of tactics, that could be good. A couple of impacts maybe. Aggressions, probably not. So Octavian steals 2 yellows from Hihi. So he has a pretty nice yellow bank all of a sudden. I mean, he can go for air forces, build one this turn, build one next turn. But I don't think we will be the target of that. We have enough military actions, we could destroy a lot of stuff or even increase our population, build like 2 tanks, 1 cannon, 1 swordsman, fulfill the tactic 2 times again. Yeah, there's no way that we lose this to a war, I think. Octavian will go for Steve Jobs, civil service, and takes a wonder. A lot of civil actions for him, getting some culture from Steve Jobs as well. Blue will open the input of a wonders, 12, 11, and then 4 and 5, so pretty good for us. He has to destroy something, wants to save himself with Gandhi here, and the military theory takes that away from someone. He already has the strategy. And now Kimmo opens developed territory. I mean, we could bid for that, like a warrior wouldn't be too bad to send away. Probably would have to rebuild that at some point. I mean, we could use the colony, wouldn't be super good, wouldn't be too bad. I mean, maybe just want to keep our cards to be able to defend. I mean, next turn we probably, we could take the Empire State and finish that immediately. That would be pretty nice. And then maybe we don't want to rebuild everything. And also this isn't that great for us. I don't... Like if we send away the warrior and all of the cards, we got on to 33, then we don't have any defend cards left, then we have to be careful that Octavian doesn't play an aggression on us or anything. I mean, we could easily bid 10 for this. We could keep 1 card to make it a little bit expensive for these guys. Thing is, I don't really need the developed territory that much. I mean, some extra yellows, I could get more population out. For the input of population, I guess, as well. I mean, if we'd want to take the Empire State next turn, that will be at 4 cost for us. We can take that, finish that, and then we can increase population and rebuild a tank. That would be enough to be able to defend. Yeah, 1 tank would be quite nice. Yeah, let's bid 10 for this. And we win it for 8, so we can keep 1 of these cards. Could also keep this one and send away the cannon. Not a big difference, 1 strength difference, but we can keep our H3 card. Yeah, there's really no big difference. If we have to rebuild the cannon or the warrior at some point, the resource cost doesn't really matter. And then having that extra card for longer might be important for some very late aggressions or anything. So I think I'll send away the cannon. And then next turn we're gonna build a knight and build a tank probably. Kimmo will go for communism and grab sufficient upgrade movies. So looks like we might take a wonder here. Mode of competition doesn't look that great at the moment, so maybe we skip politics for now. Empire State is 27 at the moment. We could grab that and finish it. Yeah, that could be something we do, but I mean, maybe we want to get a bigger Empire State. We could go for the maximum. That is even a challenge. I don't know if like an achievement, I don't even know if I have that. Win every aspect of these in a 4-player game. And I think we definitely can go for that, right? We grab that this turn, increase population 2 times, and go for a lot of military. And then we only need science, but that's not too hard to do either. We can try to maybe manage this. And now we are the strongest for whatever events come. It's good to increase population for the input of population. And yeah, Empire State, let's try to get the maximum here. If we don't manage to, it's still, I think we're in no rush to finish the Empire State this turn. We can always finish that next turn. Hollywood is not even better than Empire State at the moment, so grabbing the Empire State is really good because it only costs 1 civil action. And yeah, we have a lot of resources and not as many civil actions, so I really like that. And then it's still looking very good for us. We have the most culture, most production, and then with that Empire State we will score a lot as well. It's also looking quite good for Octavian, who probably will come in second place, but I'm not really afraid that he will score more than us. Depending on the impact, of course, but yeah, with that Empire State, can next turn go for some more operas. Would love to get like Democracy for another opera or 2 more operas. Yeah, grabbing the Empire State costs a little bit, but that is such a nice way to turn our resource into culture, so I'll go with that. And then see if we draw any other nice impacts. And progress and science. Yeah, that definitely means we maybe can go for the science in first position, of course. That's not that great, and progress not looking super good yet. Octavian will go for a movies himself, a revolutionary idea, air forces. We are still the strongest. Blue will open the international agreements, so we can take that if we want to. Urban growth, endowment of the arts, multimedia. Build 1 multimedia. So he's up to 10 science, so that's what we have to beat if we wanna get the full Empire State. But of architecture should be pretty good for us. 9, 3, 9, and 8. That's definitely okay. Kimmo will go with a Manhattan Project, going up to 46 strength, but looks like it's not increasing strength anymore, so we are still the strongest. So now we have 4 of these, I think. Yeah, 36. Oh, they're computers. With computers, we should be able to win that, right? I mean, theoretically, it would be better to just finish it like this, maybe take Hollywood. Maybe I'm getting cocky, but yeah, there's no way that we lose this game, so I think I'm gonna accept the international agreement, take the computers, because without I can't really do that, right? I need more science computers. Need to upgrade both. Oh, both is not even enough, I need a new one. Luckily, we have resources. So yeah, like this, and then finish that, but oh, we're missing 1 civil action. We can't delete anything either. Yeah, we have to take the computers, develop, get a population. Yeah, it doesn't matter how we do it. We need to take the computers with the international agreement. I think I want to do that. Yeah, let's do that. Take the computers and maybe democracy. Yeah, democracy seems nice. Finish, see what else comes. Efficient upgrade Mandela doesn't really change anything. So let's go for 1 computers, increase population, build that, and finish the Empire State for 45 culture and get the dominant empire. That's pretty nice. You scored 45 points. That's the maximum for this wonder. So winning each of these categories. Nice that I got that achievement on the YouTube video. That is pretty nice proof. And now what else can we take? Would have liked to get Hollywood as well, but don't have the civil elections anymore. We can destroy a religion and build an opera. Going up to 16 cultural action. I mean, there can't be any war. So at Octavian, only 1 military action after war. Kimmo. And to be honest, we still have so many resources. We could build another army, no problem. And even 1 war wouldn't be enough to overtake us anymore. So yeah, feels pretty confident. 201 culture already. So taking democracy from that international agreement, we can go for that next turn. Maybe build another opera. Maybe go for science and the imp of science. Could go for progress still. So yeah. Maybe it wasn't the best. Maybe it's not the maximum of culture that we could get from taking the computers and democracy. Maybe we should have played Impact of Progress or something and then finished that and took the Hollywood. But this gave us the achievement, gave us a big Empire State. I like to see that. I like to show you guys that. So I'm happy with that decision. But if it was a closer game, we of course would have considered that more closely. But I think I'm pretty confident. So let's see what we draw. Input of culture. Oh, we can go for that probably. I mean, yeah, might get close, but if we can also go for just another opera with Chaplin here, and then we definitely win that. Octavian offers us the international tourism. That is a pretty good pact for him. Would net him 8 culture, and we would get 3 ones. So that's not a great deal. but it also doesn't hurt us. And we had a look at the standings in the beginning of the tournament, so that is always something you have to consider in these tournament games. And Octavian wasn't doing so good yet, so you could either say that we don't accept it, so he doesn't get a high place, and we don't come in last. But as I said in the beginning, I'm still playing to win this, and then it's gonna be better if Octavian scores more, because then he and Kimmo don't become such big contenders for the top. So I think I'm actually gonna accept this based on where the tournament standings are at the moment. Octavian will go for Air Forces, takes reserves and patriotism. But no war or anything from him, so I don't know what his plan is with the Air Forces. Blue will play something as well, and it's a bit of population. 16, 18, and then 8 only for him, and 12 for Kimmo. Takes UN, interesting. With Engineering Genius, he can finish that next turn, yeah. And then let's see, Kimmo will have a peace treaty with Blue. Go for another organized religion, mechanized agriculture. Grabs the military buildup. So let's see, we can either play Input of Culture or Science. Culture is gonna be super safe, so I think I'm gonna go with, Science, yeah. Blue could definitely build some more Science. Progress, not really. Competition, also not really. Let's go with Input of Culture, I think. And it's gonna be Input of Agriculture. 10, 8, 4, and Kimmo gets 14, he just upgraded that. And then let's see what we can do. We can go for Democracy, add another Opera. Going up to 25 culture reduction. This game is going great. I can, increase these two, get some more Science. Doesn't really matter, we know that it's not Input of Science. Could be Input of Balance. Kimmo just went for food, so yeah, probably Input of Balance. So we could destroy this mine and build another farm like this. Yeah, we have a great Input of Balance. Can't do one more, right? We could. Don't need to upgrade these really. We could destroy this one, put that here, destroy this one, put that one here as well. Then for the Input of Balance. Yeah, that's a great Input of Balance. I'd like to see that. Sadly, the Input of Agriculture already come out, or we would have got double for this. Doesn't really matter what we do, but I like to play for some big impacts, and I think a big impact of balance would be great. Also good for harmony, I think. Yeah, this is also good for harmony. And then not that good for happiness, or I guess the rest is pretty fine. It could be Input of Industry, but I don't think anybody played that. So I think this is about right. We definitely will win this game. I guess we keep the defend cards if anybody has some ideas. Octavian mainly. So let's see what these guys can do in their last turn. It's going to be pretty interesting. Right now it looks like Octavian will have the best position. He gets one more technology with Steve Jobs and has pretty good production and can finish the fast food chain. So I definitely think he will come in second. And then it might get close between Kimmo and Hihiji. I think Kimmo has some great impacts and Blue probably not as much, but depending on what his United Nations will give him, he also has good potential. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And okay, successful aggression again from Octavian against Kimmo. Yeah, this should definitely secure Octavian's second place. Also with the fast food chains, looking good. Take some modern infantry, can't develop it anymore. 215. Blue will go for United Nations. Does he have an impact? Yes, technology. 20 against 16 against 24 for him. And then only 12 for Kimmo. So this looks like the final scoring would probably be like this. Probably no surprises from the impacts, I would assume, but maybe. and Kimmo will end the game as the strongest, so probably input of strength in there. So let's see, government 22, 20, and then 22 and 21. Yeah, government most of the time doesn't change a lot. Then variety 14, 16 and 16, and then Kimmo has 16. Also, variety doesn't have the biggest variance. Input of strength does. So Kimmo comes a little bit closer to blue, and he also gets points from Bill Gates, so it might get close between these two. Then harmony 24, 16 only, but yeah, Octavian has a nice lead in front of these guys. Oh, but yeah, harmony's pretty bad for Kimmo, so this should seal the deal. Culture 15, 10, 5 and 0 again. So yeah, these will be the final scorings after input of happiness. 14, 6, 16 and 16. Then Kimmo gets a little bit from Bill Gates, but yeah, pretty nice game. In the end, we had quite a big lead. 384, that is a lot of culture. That is a really big number. Really like to see that. Yeah, I had a great game with that early oil with the railroad. Getting that Empire State for all points. That feels really, really good. So I'm happy that I could show you guys that. So overall, really successful game. I'm really happy that finally we get a win under the belt. And maybe we can still compete for first place in the league. And of course, we're going to see what this game means for the standings. So here we are back in the tournament groups. So let's check out the Masters 2 League where I am in. And as you can see, the latest game finished just 12 minutes ago. Yeah, so much culture in this game rewarded. If we compare that to like this game, yeah, these guys had no culture at all compared to us. I mean, Kimmo came last in our game. He would have been come first in this game, so that just tells you how much culture we got this game. And that's beautiful to see. I really like those high culture games. But yeah, what does this tell about the standings? And you can see I'm actually on second position right now with 8 points. I mean, these guys also 8, 8, 7 and 7. And then 6 from Octavian. So super close everything. But we only finished 3 games and some of these already have finished 4. So overall, our position is definitely not looking bad. I mean, Tamara is still yeah, a guy to catch. But I mean, it can still go really, really fast in these early standings. I mean, he had got 1 first place where we got the 3rd. So yeah, stuff can change quite fast. But if we ever have the situation where we can decide who we want to go against, you can definitely say that we want to go against Tamurus a little bit more in coming games. Main goal still is get as many culture points or get as many wins as we can. That's still the most important part. But if there's ever the decision, if we want to go against Tamurus or let's say Octavian, we'd rather go for Tamurus in that situation. So that's good information to keep in mind for the coming games. With that said, I hope you really enjoyed the game. I had a lot of fun, especially with that, yeah, that early oil enabled us so much with that amazing Empire State Building. So if you enjoyed, leave me a like, maybe leave me a little comment what I did wrong. I mean, in this game I probably did a lot right, but you guys always find something that you can maybe can have friendly discussion about what I could have done differently. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. That really helps my channel. You can click the bell and then you can see when the next game is coming, because the great thing is there are 4 more games to come. So yeah, hope you guys are staying well and that I see all of you for the next game.